Hello Virgo, welcome back to my channel. I am Mariana and I will do the vibes inside for you today. So Virgo, did you feel it? The special alignment on the 27th and 28th of March. 6 planets were standing in one line. Very interesting energy. At least I felt it very strongly. It was said that at least some of the gurus out there, they talked about that this was a galactic portal, that if you tuned into the energy you would have a possible way of seeing your future self. So what kind of thoughts did you have those days back? I was kind of, when I sat down here, it was this feeling that I'm adjusting something. I didn't sit well. I had to adjust that. I was considering the lighting. Is this what I want? Is this what I want? Like, I would say tuning a little more into what actually feels good or is good for you, maybe, Virgo. Again, Virgo has this, you could say, always a feeling of like wanting the highest octave of something. So attuning it to the best possible outcome somehow, the best possible feeling, the best possible adjustment, like, because why not? If I can do it, why not? If it makes me feel better, if it makes me relax more maybe, or if it is a relief for my body perhaps, why not do it? Somehow, though, I want to say it's almost like coming from a place where you may not have done that much to a place where you're doing it more and more, because it feels good to you. I believe that a spiritual awakening and a spiritual awakening journey is all about coming home, like in you home, whatever that means, whatever feels right for you. I'm not saying what is right, because that's very different for every one of us out there, but it's like a return to something that feels more like home, more like here I can relax, right? Here I am me, here I am the one that I am. Here I am not supposed to be something else or live up to certain expectations. Here I am me and I am adjusting it. So if you feel hot, you would maybe have less clothes on, right? If you feel cold, you would have more clothes on, no matter what anyone else thinks about it. If the seat doesn't feel right, maybe you need another cushion, maybe you need a pillow, maybe you need to adjust when you sleep, right? How you lay in your bed, like maybe you do that more than others, but it doesn't matter because it means something to you. It could be that you are adjusting your diet, maybe you're doing something with your diet, and others may not understand it, but it's not up to them, right? This is for you, that you're doing it for you because it feels more right to you, or it feels more home to you. I'm starting shuffling, I think, because I have 4 new decks here. If you have not seen any of the other readings, these will be new. So I just start shuffling here while I'm still speaking. I don't know exactly why I talk about it. It just feels a little bit like you're becoming a Virgo that becomes more aware of. I feel like Virgos are very good at actually seeing what could be good in a situation. Like always attempting for the, as I said, the highest octave of something, the best, brightest, best possible outcome of something. The most comfortable or the most, but often it's for someone else, right? You can be quite analytical. You can be very good at like making a strategy for something, maybe to get from A to B, and achieving maybe the highest octave through that. But what about yourself, right? Are you good at this for yourself also? So now I have a flyer here, Knight of Michael. This is air element. The Knight of Swords, we would say here. Time to move quickly. Choose logic over emotion and sudden changes. Maybe that seems like something rather rapid. Could be a good choice, right? That maybe you, a change of mind, a quick incoming change of mind, or let's say you have a wave of thoughts that come in. Maybe it would be a good idea to follow it, to just let yourself join with it and just see if it's right for you, perhaps. Air element, it could be from someone else, like you are an earth sign, right? But it could be from something else or someone else that you are receiving or getting some kind of information, and maybe they want you to act on it quickly. But again, it could be that you want to attune to it and figure out, is this right for me, right? Maybe it is a good approach. Maybe it is a good idea. But is it really right? Because again, it can be someone else's wishes or thoughts. It can be someone else's idea. Maybe it is a nice change, something that really could, like an epiphany that comes in, right? That suddenly you realize something. And if you go along with that, you're not stopping that thought process. You're going along with it. It could actually maybe show you something, right? Well, strong, committed, bright, intelligent Knight of Swords, talking about rapid change or rapid movement, new strong ideas or something like that. That is of course brilliant if it's like an epiphany. But suddenly you're seeing something. Though I want to say, like, quick moving is, well, it's quick moving is great for something that moves quick, meaning that birds, for instance, which is air element, they move quickly, right? They sometimes their survival is even dependent on them moving quickly. That's their environment. That's how they operate, right? For an earth sign, a Virgo, and you are often depicted as the hermit in tarot. Hermit is not quick moving, right? Hermit is reflective, going within. sensing, feeling, tuning in. It's not necessary, it can be, of course, quick move, but after some kind of reflection, right? Then it probably would take some kind of action. So I feel like there could be like some incoming thoughts or messages that wants you to react quickly, maybe. But you as an earth sign, maybe you are not willing to move that quickly, right? Maybe you are not willing to feel into that. Or if you do, just know that it can be out of your normal comfort zone, perhaps. Right? That let's say, why do I feel like there are 2 cards? I think there's only one. Yeah. Anyway, I want to say it could be a feeling of something a little bit out of your comfort zone. That it wants to take, like you get an invitation, right? To join a club you have never been part of before. And it sounds like a really intriguing idea. And you know, it could be presented very beautifully. But then there is this element of you that just doesn't feel great with it. Let's say you are a deer in the forest, and you get an invitation from the doves and the eagles and the sparrows and everything to join their annual aerial festival, right? And for some reason it's a bright, beautiful invitation, right? The program, the program for the day sounds very exciting, and you kind of you get a little bit excited about that this is new and maybe something you haven't tried before. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, but I'm actually not an air person, right? I'm more of like solid ground under my feet. I don't like the idea of being ungrounded, that I can't feel the earth or underneath my feet. I don't like that idea. I could watch others do it, perhaps, right? But I'm not sure I would be suitable for this. But you received the invitation anyway. So maybe you are considering going there, but not really expecting to participate much, right? That this cannot really be for me. I'm probably supposed to just become a spectator or something like that. But then again, I believe that maybe if you actually watch someone fly or whatever they're doing on that festival, right? It's just a metaphor. Just take it how it resonates. But you are invited to join something or see something, experience something, and it may feel like out of your comfort zone, right? It may feel like, but I cannot be a flying deer, right? I cannot be a flying deer. That doesn't work, right? But somehow I also want to say, what if you could be? What if it's only a limiting belief that you have? That in this world, we can have flying deers in the air, right? That is not really a thing. Or we could say like a Pegasus, a flying unicorn-like figure, that is only in imagination. It's only in a magical realm that could be possible. But what if you could fly? What if your imagination allows you to fly? What would that be like? Would that somehow change your point of view? Being able to elevate and seeing the world from a different perspective, would that maybe change something for you? Would it allow you to feel in a certain way that suddenly gravity is not there, right? Suddenly you feel lighter perhaps, or elevated, free. What would it be like to maybe be that bird, to fly in the sky, to have that kind of freedom? On the earth plane, you are very limited, you're limited in the sense that you are forced down on earth by gravity, and you only have your hooves to somehow move you somewhere. I believe there could be a sense of fear connected with the idea of flying, right? Because it's unfamiliar. It's not something you do normally. It's not something that feels safe, maybe. For Earth, I feel like Earth elements would probably not feel that acquainted with the air element, the idea of being in the air, ungrounded, with nothing under you but your wings and the wind, right? But I also believe that you can, if you are in that perspective, you can see things from like different angles, that you are able to see things from Earth plane. So there could be something about your situation that could be viewed differently if you had another perspective on it. If it was lighter, not that dense. To get lighter, to be able to fly, you need to have a rather lean body, right? A rather lean body, big wings, and of course a navigation system that you know and you trust that if I let myself out here and I spread my wings, I can actually fly. But if I have been seeing myself as the deer in the forest always, never imagine I could have wings, how should I in any way ever been given the choice, or never ever been given the opportunity to understand what it means to fly? Virgo, if you have air elements in your chart and they are unused or not very used, they are, like repressed or not dominant in your life, maybe this air element is actually there, but not used in a flying way. Like when you fly, you are something is carrying you, right? You can rely on it somehow. But if you, for instance, if you don't believe in that you could fly, you wouldn't even try, would you? You wouldn't even try. Okay, this is interesting, but that's actually what I get. And it seems like with the Knight of Michael that there could be something coming in that is maybe challenging the way you think. It could be someone saying something to you. Why are you not just trying this? This could be fun. Let's try this. And you but that means I should fly. And you are a bird. Of course you can do this, right? But I am not a bird. So how on earth am I supposed to fly? Maybe it takes some practice. Maybe it's something you can visualize. Again, you are the magician. Gemini, Virgo is called the magician in tarot, right? You are the magician. Maybe you can visualize yourself enhancing yourself, right? That you can enhance some of your abilities. Very acquainted with the earth element, yes. But what if you could be water? What if you could be fire? What if you could be air? What if you could have all? The magician has all 4 elements at the table to use from. But if you don't know it, and you are limited to the earth plane, to only the earth element, this is the only way I can live and be and create, then there are 3 elements besides spirit that you are not, these doors have not opened for you. That's what I'm saying. If you are Virgo, if you are a magician, but you have never been taught that you are, nobody ever told you that you actually have certain abilities, because you can visualize them, or you can feel them, or you can imagine it, right? Okay, yeah, this is what I feel like. Let's have a look at the cards here for you. And I actually have a lot of birds on this card here. Let's have a look. King of Raphael. Warm, generous, honorable, refined. Yes, it is safe to trust. The ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passion. The ability to accomplish many things at once. Accomplish many things, or being many things at once, is possible. This is Raphael green here. This is actually earth element. So this could be you. Like maybe you are a very warm, generous, kind, honorable, refined person. That would definitely be a thing with Virgo. And it seems like there is something about trusting that you can more at once. You can be more at once. He is a king here, right? Right? It could be someone in your life, but I somehow feel like it could be you. He sits by the water, right? So again, maybe you are doing something with water. If you're not trusting flying, maybe you could trust floating. Maybe that feels a little more comfortable for you. The idea of floating, where the water is carrying you, right? The point of the carrying part, is this idea that you don't have to fight to stay above water. That life is not supposed to be a fight, right? So maybe it's something about leaning into the fact that something could carry you. Something could carry you, where maybe you feel like on earth the only thing that can carry me is my own 2 feet, right? That there could be something else that could carry you and keep you afloat, keep you up. It is safe to trust. Do you have a trust issue? Like trusting that something would be there for you? That abundance is there? That life here on earth can be like a king? That you can be your own person? That there's fish here, there's abundance, you have what you need? Raphael is supposed to be, was called the Great Healer. We can call on Raphael if we feel like there is something big that we want to heal. I feel like there could be something about safety and trust issues, the ability to be able to do more than one thing, or be more than one thing here on earth, that it's safe to also be something else, maybe experience with or experiment with being watery. What does that mean, right? Or fiery, or airy, as I said. Just play with it, maybe a little bit. See what comes up. Luminescence. Oh, yeah, maybe I should just show you what kind of decks I have here. This is the Archangel Power Tarot card deck. If you're interested in what cards I'm using. And the next one here is Beyond Lemuria here. I feel like when I look at these, they always somehow remind me of the Avatar film, these blue people. And they were very in tune with nature and the tree of life, and this idea of the connectedness with their dragons and everything, that they that there is something special if we tune into the world around us. Luminescence. Well, of course, I feel like she is someone she stands in the water, and he sits here on a stone by the water. Maybe you are currently investigating something emotional, maybe something watery, or something feminine, maybe. Doesn't have to be, but the watery elements can be both yin and yang. But when I look at her here, it's like she stands in this calm water. The calm water, I would say, is yin, more yin-based. Where the more tumultuous water and stormy tsunamis, that's more masculine, scorpionic. This seems rather calm. And she stands here, and it's like something is happening here with her hands. She's connecting something with her heart chakra that allows her to do something here with her hands. So what is that? Is that luminance essence? It's something about light, I want to say. That there is a light code. That when you stand in the water, there could be something that gets activated right here. But there is a big thing around this, and it is allowance and trust. Let's have a look at this. Card number 35, Luminescence. What this means, or what the book talks about. Self-love, the light that radiates from your heart. Light shining in the darkness. Light-centered living. Removing your heart armor. Accepting your shadows as the flip side of your strength. A vulnerable, wide open heart, authentic, heartfelt needs. Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit like that Virgo could be dipping your toes into the water of self-love here. And it's safe to trust that. As long as you give yourself all the love you need, the self-care. Again, I said something about the adjustments in the beginning, that maybe you are literally doing that, and that is a self-caring approach to life, that you are maybe changing things in your life because it feels like a struggle. Whereas if you actually become more kind to yourself, you can receive or get a feeling of more balance or love, I want to say, in your life. If you love you, it's easier maybe to love the world, right? But it starts with you. When we choose to journey through life from our hearts, it illuminates the darkness. All illusion drops away and we see what is real. What does self-love look like for you? Self-love is often talked about, but we don't actually always consider its deeper implications. One of the keys for bringing heaven to earth is the realization of our optimal reality. Again, optimal, highest octave. What would be optimal for you? Is the struggle optimal for you? Maybe it isn't, right? To create a new earth, not dissimilar to the Lemurian utopia, we navigate or illuminate our journey through our hearts. When our core foundations are integrity and kindness, our choices are ethical, and our souls radiate warmth, hold compassion, space for others, and inspire others to carry it forward. Unfortunately, as we travel through life, we often armor ourselves to protect our hearts. We fear them to be delicate and vulnerable, but this is contrary to the incredible power of having a fully open heart. Sadly, we can toss parts of ourselves in the trash because we cannot see how they serve us, and they may feel too ugly or painful. Loving yourself is about accepting all of yourself, including the parts you may consider less desirable. Self-love is unconditional. As we make the journey to wholeness, we see that the parts we have severed from ourselves are counterparts to our greatest strength. We also realize the actions we thought benefited others when we went out on our way to please fall short and fall away. In their place, we can allow authentic gifts to unfurl and bring luminosity to shared endeavors and environments. Consider how you relate to your world when you come to it from a happy place of fullness, doing things because you want to, not because you ought to or should. Sometimes we feel we must give away our happiness to show that we care for others. But when we live our joy, it affects others. Acting from uninspired obligation and the cloud it brings can hold no light to that joy. It seems like, again, this card talks about warmth and generous and honorable and refined, that you could be in a process right now, Virgo, where you're trying to revive something, I think. Revive something about yourself, becoming more warm and generous, honorable and refined towards yourself, perhaps. And trusting that process, that you can be more at once. You don't have to only be one kind, especially if you have done that only to care for others. That when you are actually adjusting your life to a more pleasant, or you could say more whole feeling, then you are actually taking care of yourself, right? Many of us have grown up to face this idea of lack and loss, like the lack of money, and life is a struggle, and money doesn't work on grow on trees, right? We have to do something for it. We have to like really invest ourselves in something. But I feel like, for some reason, I feel like maybe you have overdone something here, Virgo, because it seems like you're supposed to rest, or supposed to find a way back to something that feels calmer, more relaxed. And when you do that to yourself, the warmth returns, right? The warmth inside you returns. Because it's like, if we always put others first and we never take care of ourselves, eventually those batteries are probably worn out. Maybe it's time to really take that back, and consider what is actually truly kind for you, kind to yourself, no matter what other people think. I know that there's this tendency that we say that, and this has nothing to do with laziness. It has nothing to do with not taking action on something, but it's something that should be for your benefit. And here I say your soul, not your ego, right? It's easy to put yourself in the couch and just say, yeah, but I think it's self-caring to watch telly all day. Okay, then you do that for a while, and you figure out if you want to do that for the rest of your life. But if you are on a spiritual journey like me, it's not that. That is not interesting enough. Not to say that I'm not watching television. I do watch television, but I'm also very aware of what it is that I'm watching. And if I actually don't like it, I will turn it off, right? It's not about laziness. Actually, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's actually to take yourself seriously enough to do good for yourself, right? In whatever sense that may be. Maybe it is earthy, but she stands in the water here, and I kind of feel like she's, well, she seems a little more like a mermaid to me than an earth creature, right? Than a human. She seems a little bit more like, she could have a fish tail, right? She could be blending her ways, right? Becoming more in tune what actually feels comfortable for her. Adjusting your life to the right density or lack of density. Like taking off a rucksack, right, of darkness or responsibilities or things you felt obligated to do. Maybe you're taking that off and actually experiencing a relief or something, that you become more aligned with that. Why should life be that hard for me? Maybe I can do something that eases the load a little bit for me. Whatever that may be. Maybe you are putting up some boundaries. Maybe you're really getting in tune with who am I actually? What is right for me? Maybe your idea, well, the earth element can be anything. You could be a horse, right? You could be a bear. You could be any kind of more earthy element here. If you see yourself as a deer, and a deer is like a vegetarian, right? It's not a predator. It's soft and gentle and a little bit, you could say, rather soft, gentle. It's not a threat to anyone, right? If you are a bear, then you could be a threat to something, because you're that strong, right? So it depends on how you see yourself. But anyway, if you are a little mouse, then you are probably a little bit scared of the bigger things around you, and you would like to be able to flee the scene, right? Sometimes, as other animals do. But again, depending on how you see yourself, if you are a little mouse, what would be a self-caring act? If that is how you feel, what would be a self-caring act? If you are the deer in the forest, what would be a self-caring act for someone like you, right? If you are a bear, what is a self-caring act for you then? Something that makes you feel better, safer maybe. I don't know, but there's a safety thing here. And that you can accomplish things even though you are a mouse, or even though you are a deer in the forest. That you can walk through life with that, you could say, element in you, and it's not supposed to be a negative thing, right? Especially if you see it as vulnerable, right? If you see a deer as vulnerable, you would rather be the tiger, right? Or the, so that you can defend yourself, maybe, right? In this world, that could be more preferable, that we have ways to flee the scene, or to run away from it, or to fight it, right? Maybe you have a gentle side here that you haven't put much attention on, because it's again, maybe not something you hate, but in this world it could feel like a vulnerable side of you that you wouldn't want anyone to know about. The thinking woman. Well, that could definitely also be a thing for Virgo, right? Hermit, thinking woman. You could be a woman, of course, or you could be feminine. Again, I feel like there is a feminine touch to this, the water, and the warmth, the generous. That this is a kinder way of approaching something, a kinder way of being you. Like almost getting to know yourself again, but becoming rather, you could say, honest maybe with who she is, perhaps the feminine part of you, or a part of you that you may have regarded as too gentle, or too vulnerable, or too emotional maybe, or something like that. You're allowing yourself to tune a little bit more into this, I feel like. And from the book, we now know that that there is something about accepting a side of you that you may have. I almost feel like stepped upon. It's like you, or someone has stepped upon it or you have stepped upon it, because it's not desirable. It's in this world, it's something that we would rather shove aside, because it's not allowing you to feel successful in this life and capable and able to take care of yourself. Perhaps maybe you wouldn't admit that you can feel vulnerable at times, that you accomplishing many things at once. Maybe that has also been your go-to choice, right? That you should be able to do that. But maybe it's something that can be a tough one, right? If you want to do everything on your own. I think you can do many things on your own. But it's also okay to trust others, perhaps, right? To trust another element of you here, that you can be both and still be able to do a lot of stuff. The shadow element of us is, well, usually we are not that proud of it. We want to hide it. Again, it can be a survival thing, something we don't trust that if this is present and people can see it, then I would be a target, perhaps. I could become a target. I could be killed, haunted, all this. I could be used, misused, or something. It could be turned into something where I don't have control anymore, right? And earth people usually like control, right? They like to have control over their life. They like to be in charge of stuff, or at least it's ordered and structured somehow. The idea that something could become more watery, because water is emotions, and emotions can go up and down and everything. Maybe not always easy to control, right? It's flexible. It can shift. 1 hour you feel like that, and 1 hour you feel differently. Where the earth element is more stable. It's more the same, more of the same. So letting this in probably feels unfamiliar. A little bit, as I said, with the aerial festival, that it's like you are in an element here that is a bit foreign. So it may take a time to adjust to it. We have Saturn in Pisces right now. Saturn has left Capricorn, which actually is an earth element, and now is in Pisces, a very watery, intuitive, spiritual, you could say, definitely yin, feminine energy. So, and that's Saturn, right? Saturn is the great teacher, we say. So for the next 2.5 years or so, Saturn will be in Pisces, and it may, for those of us who feel that we somehow are influenced by the planets, it may feel like you touch upon the water in a different way here, right? It's like it allows you to feel into something that is so not you. Probably you felt more aligned with the Capricorn season, because even though Saturn in Capricorn can be quite tough, maybe you felt more aligned with that because it's earthy. It's your element. It's what you know, right? But this feels more fluid, more like, and maybe a little bit difficult to navigate, right? To trust the water here. How on earth is this water something that I can rely on? I'm used to having my hooves solidly grounded on earth, and I used to have a plan also, and structure and something. Maybe you feel like some of the structure in your life is kind of not that present, and it's coming with a message. I feel like it's because you have the opportunity to feel into something else, something that actually could be yin, caring, what feels right for you, right? A more relaxed, you could say, opportunity. Raphael is the great healer, right? Time to heal and come in tune with you, what it is that you need. Speak it, maybe. Say it out loud. And if others don't understand it, if others don't accommodate you, you're suddenly seeing something for what it is. If people are not going to accommodate you, if you talk about your necessary needs, it's all in what you can go back and look at it, but it's actually it was here. Loving yourself is about accepting all of yourself, including the parts you may consider less desirable. Self-love is unconditional. As we make the journey to wholeness, this is an inner wholeness, right? We see that the parts we have severed from ourselves are counterparts to our greatest strength. So yes, maybe you have a great strength in structure and analytical aspects and so on, but your counterpart, the shadow, is a very soft, warm, gentle approach to something that has nothing to do with structure and order and control or something. It's also a part of you. It's just as important. It allows you to flow, like flowing in the water. And just trusting that could be safe without no limitations, that you don't need like to have you don't need a lifeguard overlooking your flowing state to look for sharks, right? You choose to flow in the water, trusting that, of course, this is safe for me. That's what I feel like. This can be something that has to do with emotions, but also I feel like with thoughts, that maybe you change your thoughts about something. The more you tune into this water, the more you become acquainted with it, the more you get familiar with it. So if you have this quick incoming epiphany about something, maybe you should really give yourself a little bit of time to adjust to the idea of how could I maybe play with this? How could I flow? How could I experience a totally different environment than on land? How can I trust this thing, this How can I trust my heart without any walls around it? How can I have this open heart? How do I do that? And well, that's an idea. It's a thing, right? Maybe it's something you are doing privately, not like experimenting with this privately without anyone knowing it until you feel more familiar with it. Because it could be really a feeling of like I'm traveling to a totally different country, right? I don't speak the language. I don't know how to behave here. The culture is totally different. The clothing, everything is different. I don't know how to be here. So you have to become acquainted with it. Here, in this round, they are not speaking with words. They speak through the heart. Right? Maybe in this round we have telepathy, right? Here we have the emotional, like back and forth connection. It's a different environment. It's a totally different round. That could be the feeling that I'm entering something that I haven't really been here before. I don't know how to do this. And again, the thinking woman, she uses her brain, right? That would be your normal way of doing things. Where this has to do with the emotional inner realm. And it's safe to be who you are. The thinking woman here, she could be someone who is very absorbed in what she reads and studies, and something that could be academic maybe. Where this one, she is something quite different. And maybe you are actually like the king here with the thinking woman. I would say this could be like a very accomplished person, someone who is very accomplished on earth plane, academically here, right? But now just this king is now finding himself in the midst of the water, which is not his normal habitat. He's not usually here. But again, you can be safe here, right? You are a king, meaning that you already are skilled here. You are skilled in certain aspects. Now it's like you are tuning into something that is different. And maybe you are adjusting your life accordingly, becoming more and more aware of how you feel in certain situations. If you don't like sitting here, right, maybe you should stay on land and just dip your toe in. Just dip your toe in, just to become a little bit acquainted with it. Or if you feel like you have been a Virgo growing up in the water here, right, an inhabited or an environment that is not really yours, it doesn't really belong to you, there's too much water here, then maybe you need to step on land, right? Take this how it resonates for you. But I feel more the opposite, that you have been on earth, land, and you know that. You know what that means. You are quite skilled at this. But it's like you have something has put you in the water. As I said, it feels like you have been invited to some kind, a new job or something. That you are invited to join something else here. And that is challenging the ordinary way that you normally do stuff. You can't think your way out of this, right? which I believe you're quite skilled at. But you can't do that. Here in this environment, you can't do that. Saturn is perhaps giving you a lesson here. It is the great teacher. Learn how to swim, right? Learn how to float in the water. That this is a thing for you. Trust that this environment, even though it feels unfamiliar to you, that it's still safe. You can learn this language. You can learn how to have this skill. And you start, I feel like, really by feeling, what does this do to me? How does it change me, right? How does it influence me that I'm now in this water? Or I'm coming out of it, maybe, if it's the other way around. I'm choosing now not to be in the water. I'm choosing to be on land because I'm actually supposed to be on land. I hope you get my point of that. Next card out, I get the Jaguar, and maybe I should just tell this is the Energy Oracle card, or deck here, if you're interested. And the last one, speaking about the Jaguar here, is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. The Mystical Shaman Oracle usually talks about symbols. So in this case, the Jaguar is a symbol. Somehow it's not really the Jaguar, it's actually this one I'm kind of drawn to, because this is not normal. In the midst of the jungle, you don't find something round like this. So it feels odd to me that this is here, whatever it is. It feels like it's placed there, but it's not supposed to be there. That's again what I feel like is here. It's like you're placed somewhere, but you're not supposed to be there. Like maybe you have been placed among jaguars here, but you were never, it's a little bit like the Ugly Duckling, right? That you were born in a dog farm, but actually you were never really a dog. You didn't, like, are you adopted or something? Have you do you come from somewhere else and you landed in some kind of environment, but that environment, again here, it feels a little bit like being misplaced somehow. Misplaced, yes, like you're misplaced. It looks a little bit like a moon to me here, like a moon, or you could say a ball, or a planet. But it's rather smooth, and if you look at the rock that it's actually laying on, which is much more rough and weathered from time and rain and sun and everything. This seems too round and too even and too perfect almost here. It's like being too perfect in a world, and that is somehow a problem. In that way, you may feel misplaced, right? That something about you is too much of something. And in the environment you grew up, that was maybe not a good thing. Let me have a look at the book here. The jaguar could be quite protective, but we also know it's a predator, right? Let's have a look here, what I get. So, the jaguar is a protector of all life in the Amazon. And in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the way beyond death and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between dark and light, night and day. So the jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She's delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your jaguar instinct will serve you well. What in your life needs to be released? What have you carried around with you far too long, which is ready to be let go of once and for all? Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear so you can allow it to go. It's time to come out of the shadows and end the shadow games that you may have unconsciously agreed to play. Call on Jaguar to unfetter you from toxic relationships and recover your natural instinct for the right people and situations. Well, again, it seems like there is some kind of bravery that may need to be encouraged into your life somehow to break from something. That even though you feel kind of vulnerable about something, maybe that you can challenge that feeling, right? That the water here may feel, again, take it how it resonates. If you come out of the water, it may be that you have been raised in a very dominantly waterly environment, but maybe that has not been right for you. And again, how deep did you go here? If you went very deep, there could be some very creepy monsters out there, right? Sharks and whales and all kinds of things down there that you can't really navigate in. At the bottom of the bigger oceans, there's no light down there, right? So maybe it has been difficult to navigate in water if you were born there, raised there. But you are actually supposed to live on land, right? You're supposed to leave something. Again, the other way around, maybe you lived on land, you were raised there, but actually you belong in the water, perhaps. Or at least you need to explore it. You have an opportunity to explore it, it seems like. And if you dive into it, maybe you find out that this is your right environment. This is where you belong. This is right for you, right? This is a more heart tuned in and caring, a warmer environment is something where you belong, right? That you need to go there instead. And well, the jaguar is a protector in shamanism. But as it's said in the book, it is at the top of the food chain, so it will never see itself as a prey. And that is maybe also a thing that if you allow the jaguar to be part of your journey, the jaguar would never see itself as a prey. It would never see itself as vulnerable, right? Because it's not. It's fast. It can move fast. It can. Maybe that's what the Night of Michael was about, that this can move quick through night and day here. It can be with you when you feel most anxious. If you are doing something, diving into something that is different. If the water is the Saturn Pisces energy, this can be a spiritual thing. It can be something about, again, trusting to swim, trusting to float, that something is carrying you, from being grounded where we know all about gravity to being in an environment where gravity is actually not quite there. So you have a different way of navigating, you have a different way of using your body, you have a different way of maybe seeing underwater or seeing above water, right? Maybe you have always been forced to see through water, but actually you are not like that. Actually you see without water, right? Take that how it resonates, but it's like you are encouraged to do something that is out of the ordinary. And as I said with the Aerial Festival, that you are supposed to grow the fishtail, right? Or put on the water goggles or something, because you can learn something in this environment. You can learn something else here. When you tune into your heart and when you allow it to give you something. Again, if you haven't been very good at actually being generous to yourself, being warm to yourself, honor yourself, or if you haven't been good at that, that is also what the jaguar is here for. It's asking you to become like the jaguar and do it anyway, right? This would never see itself as a prey. So even though you are allowing something warm and cozy and caring in, and you are maybe also showing it to other people, right? They may feel it from you. That is not it's not that you are now surrendering to become vulnerable. That's not what it's about. It's just a part of you that is that warmth towards the world and people can be felt by others, but not necessarily to the fact that you are now losing any kind of protection. It's not that now you become this naive, warm person that everyone can exploit, right? That's not it. And if you are fearing that, you can invite in the jaguar here to help you be smooth and round and soft, maybe here, right? Something like that. And again, also maybe think about the environment, right? Is it you have dipped your toes into the water, but is it the right pool? Maybe you could find a different pool with other fish or other swim trainers here, therapists maybe, or something that could teach you something else. Maybe it's a clearer pool, you can see more, you know, like if you need the jaguar, it's probably because you don't feel safe showing this. You don't feel safe showing that part of you to others. Wondering if, or fearing something about it here. This could be that you start talking about something else, something that is actually you, but you've never talked about it before. And you may feel that if I do that, I could just as well be around a bunch of predators here that will just use it or misuse it. I can't show it necessarily. This is where you would probably invite in the jaguar. But again, maybe there's different audience, right? In a certain aspect, you may fear opening up about this. And in another aspect, it would be favored if you do, right? People will like it even more. They will see this side of you. They will see a very beautiful, gentle, warm side of you. And they would actually really like it. Let's have a little bit of look at what this could be. Can I have a little more on why this seems so... And again, you can't analyze yourself out of this. I feel like that's not how it works. But what would be a self-caring act here? Can we have a little bit on that? Change your life. A sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free from procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. And this is quite interesting because it seems like he's standing on the rooftop here of something, looking over the sea, right? Looking over the city. And he has wings here. It could be the feeling that maybe he wants to take off. He's sitting on some kind of balcony here. I don't know if you can see that. Again, achieving another perspective, like maybe really getting up very high makes you think differently about yourself. We have the purple color here, so this is crown chakra. An epiphany, a revelation that could really end something, that offers freedom. Embrace that opportunity. Embrace the opportunities that change brings, right? That because you change something, it will bring in some opportunities or other feelings. Other senses maybe are woken up, other sensitivities maybe, things like that. It's opening something. And instead of just burying them and no, I don't like this, this is new, I don't like it, then just maybe kind of embracing it. We have a little more, please, about this. Stepping through. Stepping through. Again, something about... It's almost like, I want to say, I see it a little bit like a portal or a door, like you open a door to something and you're stepping through it. and not just, whoa, running back, right? That you're kind of stepping through something and experiencing it. Almost like being on, because I see the mandala here in the middle, like the stepping through. This is like the portal, so a part of you is one place and another is somewhere else, and you're kind of slowly but surely tuning yourself into a new environment or a new vibration, or attuning to something. I feel like stepping through that is allowing you to have new opportunities or new experiences. What else? Blossoming abundance. That there is an opportunity to have something that feels more nice, I want to say. Calm, safe, perhaps. Something richer, something fuller, something more whole. The more you tune into the other environment or the other elements, as I said, earth is one of them, water, fire, air, the more you tune into them, it allows you to have a much fuller life, where maybe it has been very focused down to one element and you haven't really not been able to tune and touch on the others. The gatherer. When I see her, it reminds me of course, earthy element, but also this idea that you gather stuff. The reason for gathering is because we know that something eventually is coming, like the winter, where we can't gather. So I have to do it now, right? I have to do it now so that eventually, when something is missing or when it's not available for me, I have enough. The gatherer here talks to me also about a bit of a lack mentality, right? That eventually, to take care of myself, I have to gather enough now so that I will have it when I start pension, or I will leave the workforce, or it could be something about gathering experience. Gather experiences, gather enough experiences to take with you, right? But once we lived like that, we lived as gatherers and hunters, right? Gathering the things we like. She has feathers here, right? And probably nuts and other things that could be of any significance later on during that day or week or month. Gathering the good stuff. Gathering the good stuff. Also maybe gathering the good friends, right? Gathering the good work, gathering the, like, get experiences that take you out of, make these adjustments to your life that is feeling caring. And in that way, I'm not saying it's the same as being lazy or not taking action on anything. Actually, this is about taking action, but it's a self-reflective thing. It comes from an inner feeling that I'm now doing this because it feels right to me. The environment or the stuff I used to do, or let's say the things you used to eat, or the people you used to associate with, it just doesn't cut it for me, right? It's not right. And it's seemingly something you can't think your way out of. Like, thinking about this is not going to help you, and maybe this has been your go-to, that normally you would do this, you would try to find a solution, think about it, read about it, educate yourself, but I just don't think that you can educate yourself out of this. Not with your mind in that sense. It's something you have to feel here. Somehow I feel like he looks a bit grumpy, right? Like he's on guard somehow. Don't get too near. I almost see it like an egg, like he's guarding some kind of egg here. Why am I so tuned in on this? What is this, please? What is this? Committed romantic relationships being swept off your feet. Situations or topics that make your heart flutter. Some kind of romance, dramatic, poetic. Actually, it feels a little bit like almost, I don't know, but yesterday I did a reading for Leo, and it was a little bit the same, like Leo was holding on to some kind of romantic illusion, I want to say, that actually may have developed almost into a nightmare. And somehow I get the feeling that, because again, it feels like it doesn't belong here. Like this environment where the jaguar is, it doesn't belong here. Like it's too round and too smooth and a little more, please, here on this man holding a coin. Again, now I get this man here, right? It's not really the coin I think about, it's more him, a romantic partner, some kind of offer. Again, let's say you grew up on land, right? And now you are experiencing something in the water that actually feels quite nice, maybe. But he may be like this idea of living on earth with someone who would come in with a good offer for you. Maybe that's what is holding you back somehow. The idea or the dream of a earthy experience with some man here, or a woman, I take it how it resonates, but this idea that it's someone coming in with an offer here. Maybe this is like an illusion of, or a dream of someone coming back. I just feel like it's too perfect. Someone too perfect, maybe. Coming back, or wanting them to come in with some kind of offer, like the prince, like Prince Charming on the white horse. I just feel like maybe it's And again, I said this yesterday, this came up as a clarifier yesterday. This could be someone who is like a love romance novel reader or even writer. Someone who loves the romantic part of life and wants it to be part of your life. I just have the feeling that it's not supposed to be here, that this is not helping you. It should be gone. This should be gone. It's not helping you. It's not helping you. The arrow. Again, when I look at this, it's a bit like Cupid's arrow, right? That you have been hit by something romantically, man holding a heart, someone coming in with an offer, and it kind of pierces through your heart, right? That you have been marked by something, touched, and it has put you into the water maybe, or it has, and you don't belong there, right? Could be the feeling that you have been in the water for a period of time, experiencing something very emotionally festering, that it has kind of kept you there. But being in that water is not your environment, right? It's actually not where you belong. So getting yourself out of the water is better. Doing something that is caring for you. Being in the water, staying in the water is maybe not a self-caring act, but you are there because you hope that he or whoever this is would come back or would come in with an offer, or because you somehow, well, now I'm suddenly thinking about the Little Mermaid story where the mermaid has a crush on the prince on land. So much so that she goes to, she finds deep down in the water a sorceress that can help her release the fishtail and become a human, a woman. And she walks on land and she goes to the prince, but he doesn't want her because he liked her when she was in the water singing beautifully towards him. But when she is on land, she has no singing voice. And now he's not that impressed with her. And he chooses not to have anything to do with her. So she has now sacrificed her voice. She has sacrificed her fishtail, right? And he still doesn't want her, right? She did all of that to have his offer, like to be with him. She did all of that to be with him. She sacrificed all of that to be with him. But on land, there were other women that he got more attracted to, right? So now she has put herself in a situation where she can no longer return to the sea, which is her home, and she can not have the love of her life on land. I don't know if it's that kind of situation, but it's a feeling of where maybe there's no place that feels really like home. Because you sacrifice something, right? So you can't go back. And you can't go to the one you hoped would be there for you. And what can someone like that do, right? She can only sit and try to be as caring as she can for herself. Learn how to live on land with her 2 feet, right? and maybe still go to the water, swim in it a little bit, talk to it. Again, she's standing in it. That she can still do, things like that. It's like remembering what was, but also knowing that you're preparing to do something else. You're preparing to learn how to navigate a different realm. But you have to be like caring towards yourself here while you're doing this. Maybe forgiving yourself also for something here. That you allowed your heart to be swept away by someone. And you wanted to go there to him. You did all of this sacrifice to be with him. But he didn't choose you. Or he wasn't there. Right? So whatever you have been holding on to here, I just feel like it's too perfect or too something. That it's not supposed to be here. It's not supposed to be here. And therefore I see it as an illusion. I see it as a lie or something that was in your head, but it's not as I said, being struck by Cupid's arrow, and you wanted it so badly, but it never wanted you, perhaps, right? And now you sit in that predicament, right? You sit in this, but I can't go back to who I used to be. Something in me has changed. Let's say you chose to follow someone to their homeland, as I said, right? You're coming to a totally different country, totally different cultures and expectations and everything, and you're just standing there like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be here. And you are learning slowly here that this is a totally different environment than where you grew up, right? Or that maybe you learned how to swim somewhere else, but here you can't use the same skills. Like it's useless. That everything you have done your entire life is useless here. Or it's useless now, right? Because something has changed. The giveaway. The giveaway is something that is given now. It's like when I look, it's like she's giving something huge here, right? She's giving something, and now I suddenly like see it as this. Like she's giving is it like, like the heart, like she's giving her heart away here to something. Giving something vital away. It could even be like her willpower, right? She's giving up something here. She's giving it away. But he didn't take it, did he? He didn't reciprocate. He didn't see what you offered here. What you offered, what you sacrificed, maybe you gave something away. What you sacrificed didn't help, right? You didn't get it. It's like it's not I said something about he looked a bit grumpy, this jaguar, right? Maybe it's this feeling that my heart should never again be given away to anyone, right? I'm a bit grumpy about this. I'm not doing that anymore. Maybe you have a sense of an inner protector that is now very concerned about this. Once it was very big also. We saw the girl offering it and it was that big. It was in the corner of the card. But now it has become also less vibrant. It's not shining that much. Let me see if I can find the card again here. Look at this. Look at how shiny this is, how bright and shiny it is, and how she was willing to give it away here. And now look at how it's just small and really not vibrant anymore. Once it was maybe, you know, like with optimism and hope and trust and everything. And because it wasn't reciprocated, now it has shrunken and become like this. The trust that something would reciprocate has become very small here, perhaps. Right? Here she had a willingness to like give everything away. A big shining heart here. Or whatever this is. Let me see if I can... It's just my personal interpretation. Let's see what else I get here. The giveaway is the gift you offer to life, without attachment, without expecting anything back. You can only give what is truly yours, a smile, a nod of encouragement, a gentle touch, a kind word. This is not giving to others what you no longer want, like the sweater that no longer fits, but gifting that which is most precious, your authentic love and genuine feeling. That's what I feel like. It's like you gave your heart to something here. Your optimism, your like authentic, true feelings, you gave it. But somehow I get the feeling that by giving it like that, maybe you gave too much and it now resides like this. That this is what is inside you, the love you once had, your genuine feelings have now shrunken to this. Because you didn't get anything back, I think. But the point is that it should not be expected. If it's unconditional that you give something, you don't expect anything back. But in your case, I think you did. Or someone did. Maybe the grumpy jaguar here is someone you know, right? It just feels like you've been giving. It's a little bit like the Leo reading, like you gave something full of optimism here. But and the arrow striking, Cupid's arrow striking, right? So you gave this, you offered something, and you hoped someone would offer something back to you. But I just get the feeling it wasn't what it seemed. I think it wasn't what it seemed. Maybe you were, I don't know, a bit like the Little Mermaid. When she was in the water singing, he loved it. He liked her like that, right? He didn't expect her to like come out of the water, and it's a little bit. There was a card in the Leo reading as well. Maybe you're dealing with a Leo that showed a woman that is opening her hand and letting a butterfly fly, right? Because the butterfly is much more beautiful when it is in its natural habitat, when it lives and breathes its natural habitat, and we can watch it from afar or from a distance. We can see how it lives its life freely and fully. But if I keep it in my hand, I can't really see it that much, and it's just fluttering anxiously and stressed around in my hand. When you put a bird in a cage for the first time, it's fluttering around and can't understand why it can't come out. Eventually, it sits. It just sits passively, walks around a little bit maybe, but it has realized I can't fly in here. I'm imprisoned, right? In the Leo reading, we talked about hostilities. We talked about maybe feeling like a hostage in a hostile situation, that you being in an environment where you couldn't be the full you. Somehow I get that feeling here as well. I started out by saying something about that Virgo wants the highest octave. So maybe we talk about the highest octave of your life. But it's not currently what you're living. The highest octave of your life, Virgo, what would that be? If you could imagine anything, what would it be? Maybe you have a grumpy protector here that says, no, never give your heart away again to anyone. You know what happened last time, right? Maybe that's an inner protector you have. But he is actually preventing you from maybe being able to brighten up this heart again. What would be an advice in this situation? Because it seems a little bit tricky. Like the Jaguar here could be an inner protector, as I said, like an ego thing. Like a wall you have built around your heart, right? Because you gave your heart away, trusting something, but it didn't work out, and now it has shrunken into this, right? In this heart, there is no belief that life could be luminous and happy and abundant. I just have the feeling that whatever you are experiencing here, floating easier in life, flowing, flying, whatever, could maybe help you a little bit. It's also quite a dark jungle here. Somehow I get the feeling it's not a very happy place, maybe, I don't know. Can I have an advice, please, for this? I feel it's... If I look at her, I don't think she looks... Again, the thinking woman operates primarily from the brain, not from the heart. She analyzes, she structures, she tries to control a situation, even if she likes reading these love romance novels. Her day-to-day life is probably quite structured, but secretly or in her shadow, maybe hoping for the romance, right? For something to brighten up her heart again here. And good advice, please, here. Indecision. So understand your inner indecision, your quarrel inside. Understand that a part of you cannot decide on this. That you have indecision because a part of you, your heart, A part of you wants abundance and a bright, beautiful, new, vibrant heart. And another part of you is fearing to open up here. A positive new emotional experience, yeah. Fulfilling romantic relationships, deep and lasting spiritual insights. Yeah. This is what you're hoping for, right? But you are also fearing what you need to do to get to that. Having a positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationship, this is what you didn't have. And therefore you are scared of it. Round Breacher, this one came out in the Leo reading as well as a clarifying. To get this more vibrant in your life, an open heart chakra, you need to breach something here. You need to breach through whatever the fears that you have. The Heart of Sky reversed it was. I don't read reversals yet from these cards, but I am considering the Heart of Sky. Heart. And the heart here, right? I want to say the Heart of Sky, for me, this with this more cosmic thing in the background, it comes more across as what would the Heart of Sky say? Meaning that maybe what would the Heart of God say? What is love from the God's perspective? And through the Heart of the Sky, understanding whether something is for you or not. Whether it's for you or not. It was reversed, so maybe you're realizing that something you have been holding on to was actually not from the Heart of Sky, or not from the heart of God, or the love of God, or the universal love, but realizing that it's not beneficial for you. But that can be difficult, right? If you were hit by Cupid's arrow, how to somehow cancel that? How to cancel it? It means that you need to take your thoughts away from that person and think about something else. Can we have something about the Cupid's arrow and this? How do you cancel that? If you once did feel that intense for someone, how do you just cancel it then? You have invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. Wow, so this seems a little bit different, right? Have you invested wisely? That's maybe the question. Do you want to have patience and waiting for some kind of harvest? Review that progress and make plans for your next endeavor. I feel a little bit more like I'm really quite sure it seemed like a good choice at that time. I'm just, with these cards and the feeling I have, I'm not sure. Because if nobody is showing up for you here, that's the same energy as in the Leo reading. If nobody is showing up for you, is it wise to keep it here? Like, is it wise to have your energy concerned about this? If the Jaguar shouldn't be concerned about this, he could go play, right? He could go eat. He could go hunting. He could go whatever he wanted. But he's occupied now with this here. Maybe that's why he's grumpy, right? That he wants to do something else. Sitting here and waiting is maybe not his thing, actually. Why is he grumpy? Why do I feel like he's grumpy or on guard? Or it could even be that he's kind of tired, like he is overlooking this for so long, maybe watching over it for a long time. He's kind of just grumpy and tired, I think. Why is he tired? Hostilities. This one came out in the Leo reading as well. He is tired of the hostilities that come with this, I think. That come with this. He has to be strong and fierce and ready to attack, right? But he's actually kind of tired, I think. Tired of the hostilities. Maybe tired of what this is emanating, because it's probably emanating something. Emanating, sadness or something. And he's kind of just sitting there. He is a protector and he's not moving, but he's not happy about the job, I think. Yeah. One more on this Jaguar and why he's grumpy. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. Page of Gabriel, energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Yeah, that's because that's what he is. He's energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful, but now he's sitting here, holding this in his hand. Holding hand with this. And that's not very fun. And it's keeping him kind of hostile, right? He can't. It's like he's watching an egg, hatch, right? When is this going to, why do I have to sit here, right? I have so much energy in my body. I normally use my body actively. I run and I chase and but this sitting here is not really for me. And it's because there's a part of this that is not trusting. It doesn't trust to go out there. This is still occupied with the love you have for someone. How can we cancel this? If it's a nuisance and it really is not helping you, self-loving care, I think, is important. Really to investigate why you even got yourself involved in this. How could Cupid's arrow even hit you, right? If this is not right for you and not reciprocated maybe or something, and you're overthinking it maybe here. Why just not just cancel it? Did it change you? This encounter, this situationship, did it change you? So that, as I said with the little mermaid, like once she lived in the sea and she was very comfortable with that. She knew everything. She could breathe underwater. She could go to the deepest depth. Her father was, Neptune, or and she felt very comfortable there. Everybody loved her there. And now it's like she is in this limbo place. She can't go back. She can't go to the person. That she's kind of in between something. I felt that also with the Leo reading. With the Leo reading, I felt a little bit like maybe you should cut your losses. Have you invested in something that really is just a nightmare? This feels more like procrastination, like you're stuck somehow in this limbo. Or look at her. It's like, could she be trying to, like, this could be her love, right? And could she be trying to evoke the love from someone else so that you will have a reciprocated, I don't know, like trying to keep something alive. Trying to keep something alive here. Maybe that's what he's doing. Right? That she's sitting here and trying to keep something alive. But it's not. It's like something magical, right? You want something magical to happen. That suddenly he will appear with his coin, and of course he will see you for your worth, and of course he will. I just get the feeling that it's not really happening, and whoever you have as a protector is becoming more and more grumpy, right? Tired of waiting and impatient and hungry, maybe, or something like that, right? And the offer or the giveaway has now shrunken in because nothing came back. How to cancel this, please? How to cancel this? Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is an interesting card, but also a difficult one, because Mount Shasta is a very healing place. So you have to get yourself in a healing place. So literally, maybe, I'm not saying you need to move to the area where Mount Shasta is, but you have to figure out what place could be the most healing for you. Mount Shasta is said to have the highest vibrational energy, Lemurian energy, with connection to the, like the most high vibrational energies. Maybe you need a very high vibrational healer here to help you with this. Because it feels a little bit like something that seemed very bright and shining, and you gave everything away. It seemed like it almost like a curse, like that. Now it's something that just drains you, or drains the energy out of it. Like you can't keep it. It becomes smaller and smaller. You can't keep the hope alive. But maybe that's it. Maybe you need to cancel the hope here. Cancel the hope. Would that be a self-caring thing? In this case, I feel like yes, it would be. And it would release your protector here. He would no longer sit here and keep this hope alive. This hope is not supposed to be here. Cancellation, please. A little more. Yin Yang. Terrible. And then this was indecision, yes. Indecision and Yin and Yang. fire and water. Leo is a fire element, and it seems like you sit in water here. And fire and water are each other's opposites, right? Counterparts. As I talked about with this card, it's a counterpart. And maybe that's why it's a strong connection, but it doesn't mean that it's real for you or good for you, right? We know that the water can distinguish the fire, but we also know that the fire can steam water, right? And then it evaporates into the sky, right? It's like both of them can hurt each other, right? Cancellation, please. Change your life again. This second time it comes out. Cancellation, please. Giveaway reversed. Yeah, don't give anything away if you are not sure about it. Don't be that, maybe a bit naive, right? Don't give anything away just like that. Don't give anything away. Maybe it's the other way around, that someone should give something to you, perhaps, right? Instead. I just feel like whatever this is, giving up this hope, even though it has become very small, it feels very difficult. Like, and there's this indecision back and forth. But if I give this up, what then? Yeah, what then? If you give it up, this Jaguar could use all of his energy to actually benefit you instead, right? It's like you're giving something to others. Stop giving to others. Stop giving that attention to someone else who is not coming back, who's not there, or who hasn't reciprocated or shown you anything. Even if you got stroked by Cupid's arrow, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's good for you, does it? Reflection, illusion, self-examination, and distortion. Yeah, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not real. Maybe you got, again, and a little bit of feeling with yesterday's reading, also with the Leo energy, that it could be this feeling of like a twin flame, a connection, or a strong soulmate or something. But because it's because if we feel familiar, or we feel like we've recognized a soul, well, once I thought that it had to be romantic as well. I thought that it had to be the one, right? It had to be someone special. But it just means that maybe you have lived lives with them before. It doesn't mean that it's healthy for you in this lifetime. It doesn't mean that it's actually giving you what you want. Of course, you can still try to be patient and keep this hope alive. Yeah. Again, look at this again. It was very bright once, but now it has just like faded into nothing, right? Or it just fades into nothing. There is only a certain amount of time that you can kind of keep something alive, like trying to keep it artificially alive somehow. And that is probably what is draining this one and making him a bit grumpy, right? Because this is not a fun game for him. and it's out of his territory. This is not who he is, right? He's not born for that. It's a reflection of something you would like to have, making someone special, hoping that they will make you special too, but that's not necessarily what they do. But your hope, that could be why the hope is here, right? Because you keep clinging on to the idea that someone would make you special. Purification, water, emotional cleansing and rejuvenation, yeah. And I have talked about the water here, right? Maybe you need to become very real about your emotions. Look at her, how maybe she's walking out of the water, maybe she's walking into the water, but she's letting herself be cleansed. Maybe you should let yourself be cleansed in water of whatever you feel. She looks very angel-like, right? Very angel-like. Purify your heart from this. If someone can't see your value, your worth, or your beauty, they are not necessarily for you, right? They are maybe living in ego, and they can't see you, right? They can't see you as a soul. They don't recognize you the same way you recognize them, perhaps. And therefore they're not coming forth. They are not coming. That's what I feel like. They're not coming because they can't. They don't see you. They don't recognize you the way you did them, perhaps. Who is this person? This man holding coin, whatever. Who is that, please? 9 of Gabriel. Stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility. Environmental activism. Nine of fire here. 9 of wands. Someone stubborn, I think. 9 of fire is usually, well, it says something positive here, but this is not what I see. They are determined and they want to move forward, but in their direction, right? They could have quite an ego here. Fire. They are be prepared for any possibility, and environmental activism. This could be someone who is into, well, it could be someone who is very into environmental activism or climate stuff, earthy stuff, but this is fire. So it's someone who has very strong will. 9 of fire would, for me, suggest could be quite stubborn, into his, like, set in his ways. He is determined, and he moves forward in the way he wants it to be. He could be, 9 of wands can be a troubled personality. It can be like you have been carrying a lot of heavy burdens for a long time, and you're almost, you could say you're determined to finish the race, but it's a fighting. It's more of a fight, putting up a fight, perhaps, or again this determination to move forward in a certain direction. Of course, if this is for good purposes, helpful, nurturing good purposes, it is a nice thing to be determined and not giving up on anything. But when we come to the 9, I just feel it's not necessarily always with this feeling I have here, it feels more like staying determined to move forward in the way he wants to. Be prepared for any possibility or problem. And environmental activism could be even a feeling of a rebel, like someone who wants to speak up about their minds and are determined about it. Could be, like a rebellious politician or something, someone who doesn't want to necessarily stay in line. And maybe, again, he could be quite determined in his own mind that what he is doing is right, that what he is doing is good, that he wants to change something for good, and that's why he does what he does. I'm just not sure that it's healthy for you here. And again, I don't think you can think your way out of this. Can I have one more card on the person, please? This person that this romantic thing. Actually, I want to say the thing, because the person, is this more about that you love to be in love, or you love to be loved by someone, than it's around the exact person? Is it really the person, or is it the Cupid's arrow striking? Blossoming abundance. I guess I get almost a feeling it's the Cupid striking that is actually the issue, because it's the blossoming abundant. It's the potential of something. It's the potential of something that you may be able to see in people, but it doesn't mean that it's reciprocated. So therefore, keeping a hope up here for something that, as I said in the beginning, it shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be here in the first place. I don't know how much closer I can come to this. I just feel like this is... And I just have the feeling you could be so much more. If you put this away, you could be so much more. Like you could have all these things going for you. The thing about trusting, again, that it's safe to trust, that is a thing. That's a real thing you need to work on. But what is standing in the way of that is a hope for someone to return, perhaps, or something here. That is, it's becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, I see, but it's still in the way. It shouldn't be here. And it can keep you, like a part of you locked into the romance novels. And I'm not sure it's a healthy thing for you at this moment, where you may be trying to really cultivate something else for yourself. There's an opportunity for that, But there is also, as Saturn is famous for, of course, a trigger that could like put you right back into this, where you're sitting and hoping and procrastinating here. Be very mindful about this at this time. This is what I see. Is there any way that this somehow could be positive? Is there anything that could be learned out of this? Trustworthy, understanding, devoted, funny. There's so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. Whatever you could learn from this is that at least you are very devoted, at least you are very understanding, at least you are very trustworthy. And with that alone, that attitude, you can accomplish a lot. And if you stay in that belief system, you probably would be watched over by someone kind. So if you own these, you could say, virtues about yourself, how patient you may have been, or whatever is going on here, how you have tried to do something, keep something alive, in that way you could be a quite trustworthy, devoted person. And those are very beautiful virtues if you use them on yourself. That is probably my closing advice. Use all of this on yourself. That's what I feel like. I hope this helps somehow, Virgo. Please take very good care of yourself. I send you my very best. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.